this house would tax fast food. The proposition team is Areeb and Nasra, and the opposition team is Amir and Boris. I would now introduce the first speaker of the proposition team, Areeb.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So we on side proposition believe that by passing this resolution, we will halt an economic bomb, keep our citizens healthy, and stabilize our nations. Now, with the best interests of our nations at heart, we must stop this growing dilemma before it becomes a serious issue within our Western nations. Now let me define the term. This house is Western nations. Tax will pay some extra money to go to the government. Western nations are all nations politically included in the Western first world countries. And fast foods are quickly prepared foods that are bought and are very fatty. Now, my part, I'll bring up the arguments of an unhealthy workforce, the government debt, and along with media infiltration, we will stop this problem. My partner will bring up the role of the government in social services. Now let me move on to my first argument about an unhealthy workforce. Now ladies and gentlemen, we suffer from a huge problem here in Canada. First of all, we have baby boomers who are not having babies. That is one economic problem. Secondly, we have this huge problem of fast foods. CBC's most recent study shows that fast food has surpassed smoking as the West's most serious problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we must stop this problem before it gets too big. We've seen that fast foods cause an unhealthy workforce, which in turn leads to a shorter lifespan, which then leads to less people working in our economy, which causes a circle of destruction in our economy. I'll take you in 1 second. So as we can see that we must stop this, as we said, by taxing it so that people use less portions of these fast foods, if not completely stop using fast foods because of the excess money that they have to pay, which will stop this problem before it becomes a huge issue.
Isn't it more important, and isn't it a larger, you could say, priority to go and take care of things like alcohol and alcoholism and abuses in relation to alcohol that preoccupy many societies and in specific the First Nation societies?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this has just shown ignorance from side opposition, because I just said that fast foods have just surpassed all other drugs as the biggest problem the West faces, and yet side opposition goes ahead and asks this question because, ladies and gentlemen, it shows ignorance. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot stand for this any longer. Our citizens believe that fast foods are okay to eat. We see that in America, in Canada, all over Europe. We cannot stand for this anymore because, ladies and gentlemen, we sadly on side proposition see a future of great hardship if we do not stop this problem at its basis, at its source, which is taxing it. We agree that we cannot go ahead and simply ban it because this will cause controversy. However, taxing it keeps the jobs of the people who work at these fast food places, simply just making the people use smaller portions of these fast foods, which will lead to better habits, which in turn will lead to a better and more stable Western society. Yes.
But don't you think that many of the people that go to fast food restaurants, they go there because, or they have continued to go there because basically the food there is too good and too addicting, and that if you tax it, no matter how much you're going to raise the price, they're still going to go. So how is that tackling the problem from its source?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, ignorance from side opposition. Because we saw the smoking and alcohol problem. Everybody said that the tax won't work, but when we tax it, we have seen significant decreases in smoking, in alcoholism, because taxes, money makes the world go around. That is what the 21st century is about. And these people care about their money. So as first things first, if fast food isn't technically an addiction. However, it has become an addiction in this 21st century in the Western society. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are saying stop it before it becomes an even larger addiction and a larger dilemma for our Western nations. And the best way to do this is taxing, because it has been proven to work for actual addictions such as alcohol, such as smoking. So why not work for this fast food problem? Now, furthermore, let's go into this good habits argument that I brought up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these people will develop good habits. So the next time their children ask, can we have some Burger King? Can I have a double Whopper for Burger King. They'll say no, have one, or maybe not even have it because I do not have the money to pay these extra taxes. Then all of a sudden you have these better habits for the children that in the future it will turn out so that we can have a healthier workforce, which is tackling the problem of an unhealthy workforce, which will harm us in the future for economics. Now, let's look into this debt problem that we have. Our Canadian government is suffering from debt. We are $60 billion in debt, and ladies and gentlemen, this number is steadily increasing. Now, a lot of people will say capitalism will pay for itself, but we cannot rely on this. We must go ahead and tax these people. These billionaires have enough money. If they have to pay a little more taxes on their food, and if the people have to pay a little more taxes, it's not the end of the world, because in turn it's going back to them, which my partner will expand on social services. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot. Sometimes the citizens don't know what's best for them. And again, my partner will expand on the role of the government. Because as I said, our government is in huge debt, and the only way to get out of it is using taxes. And this is the only answer. And although it does not sound pretty, it is the only answer that we can have for this huge dilemma. Now, my last argument will be, along with media infiltration, this is the only option to solve our problem. Now, I am sure that we both agree on side proposition and side opposition that fast foods are a huge problem in this modern day and age. Now, where we differ is really what's the answer. Side opposition seems to think that we don't do anything about it. People will find out themselves. This is not the answer, ladies and gentlemen, because we have to help these people in making their judgments, as my partner will state, of the role of the government. Because furthermore, along with the tax, there's media and media infiltration, where you can make it mandatory to put in health classes why fast foods are bad. And then all of a sudden you have the children being informed, and then the adults, while they're watching the news, they can be informed as well. So through the media and through taxes, we can stop this problem once and for all. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it is clear from both side opposition and side proposition that this is a terrible dilemma that we face in the modern day and age. And in order to stop it, this is the only solution. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot leave this problem, or let this problem be, because it will continue to harm us throughout this 21st century, and it will become a huge burden for our future generations. Now, what have I shown you throughout the speech today? I have shown you that this problem will lead to an unhealthy workforce, which in turn will lead to a weak economy, which altogether causes a really bad cycle of destruction, which will take away from our 21st century surplus, from our economic benefits in Canada. Also, I showed you that the government is in debt, and the only way to solve this is by taxing. Whether people like it or not, sometimes it is the government's duty to do what's best for their citizens, which my partner will get further into. And lastly, I talked about, along with the media infiltration, this is the best way to solve this problem. Now, as I said, we both agree that there is a problem here. However, instead of leaving it alone, why not pass this bill? With your help, why not pass this bill and save our citizens from such a huge dilemma? 15 seconds grace. So, as I would like to end you with a quote. Life is not merely being alive, but being well and alive. So this is what I would like to leave you with. Thank you.